First of all, I'd like to say a big thank you to everyone who's commented, rated and subscribed on my channel. Really appreciate the support and encouragement. Today we've got a question regarding a Mark IV Golf door dropping. I don't know, it's quite a common problem. It tends to drop and not close properly. So if you've had this problem, hopefully this will help.
Okay, so when I pull it out and I close it, normally it hits that thing, but when I lift it up, it closes normally.
As you can see, we've got the door here doing exactly the same thing, catching and not quite closing properly. So we're going to show you how to adjust it and make it work right. So now the first thing you've got to do is remove this inner panel next to the lever there, to get to these hinges behind the door. So you need to remove this inner kick plate, and you move that by removing that knob from behind there and the screw located in that hole. Once you've removed them, it's about wiggling it off and shaking it around that to get it off. So let's try to do that and see how that goes. As you can see, it's pretty easy enough. You can undo it with your hand. If it's a bit tighter, maybe a pliers, but you should be able to undo it with your hand. Then it's about getting that screw in that hole that I showed you earlier. I just used a simple flat screwdriver. Then we pull the rubber out to get more access and loosen it up, so we didn't have no restrictions or anything holding it or binding it in. I prefer to do it this way because it made more sense to me. Then really it just pulls out. I mean, you're going to have to get it over the handle. I didn't have to take out the handle or anything like that. It's just wiggling it out and it pulls out. So now you look just behind the handle. There's a hole, and that's the nut to the back side of the hinge. You need to loosen that hinge to get it to move up and down. Another close up. Trying to really show you exactly where it is, so when you go to look for it, you can find it because it is well hidden. There you go. Next thing we have to do is loosen the outside hinges. Now that's a spline tool, VM10 they call it, but you need that spline tool. I would suggest you put some tape on the edge of the door and the edge of the wing before you try this, because you will damage it. Now the idea with this is just to loosen it, not to undo it, but to loosen it so you can get some sort of movement on it. So just loosen it, but don't take them out. Then it's onto the screw behind the door, inside the door, as you can see next to the bonnet lever there. So once again, you loosen it. It's a bit tricky to find, as you can see. I'm struggling a little bit with it. But once you get it in, it's pretty simple because that spline socket holds really well in there. Then it's just a matter of undoing it, but don't undo it too much. You don't want this to fall off or drop. So I had to just tighten it before untightening it there. But undo it just so you get enough movement on it so you can adjust it how you want to adjust it. Now with the door in the closed position, your next job is to check that there's an even gap up and down the edge of the door. This tells you that you're in the right position. So once you've got it in a way that you kind of like it, the next thing to do is to tighten up the hinges to secure the position you've got it in. Now it's good to remember you have to have these reasonably tight, because when you open the door you don't want it to move and give you a false reading. So once you've got it pretty tight, go back to the door and check it softly that it opens and closes the way you want it to. Once you're 100% happy with how the door opens and closes, tighten up all the bolts and you're done. Thank you for watching.